Okay, well, today we are going to be doing a very special beer review. This is the first time I've ever had this beer, and it is my favorite style, which is Belgian Triple. And not only that, this is an authentic Trappist product. Now, a Trappist ale is specifically a protected legal appellation, and that means that nobody is allowed to use the term Trappist ale. You can say Trappist style ale if you're an American brewery, but unless you are one of the genuine Trappist monasteries found, I guess, primarily in Belgium and France, I'll have to double check that, you cannot call your beer Trappist beer. And so this beer is the Trappist from Achel. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Comes at 8%, and though it is called a blonde beer, uh, that's somewhat of a misnomer. It's a Belgian triple, and this is common among Belgian styles. They'll often say things like blonde, but that does not mean that this is a Belgian blonde style. This is a Trappist style, and it's a Belgian triple. Okay, so with that said, let's open her up and get this started. So I'm only going to do a relatively small pour because this is also my wife's favorite style, and we're going to share the remainder of this bottle after this relatively shorter review. Okay, so first off, in the BJCP scoring is aroma. Oh, sorry. First off is the category, and that is 26 Trappist C Belgian triple. Okay, aroma. Let's see. Yeah, so right off the bat, getting some of those yeast aromas. I'm picking up some like banana and clove, phenol type characteristics. Let's see. Nothing too spicy or peppery. That may come through more so in the flavor. Yeah, I think primarily yeast character. Not necessarily any strong like citrus or anything, but maybe a little bit of that. Maybe maybe a little bit of like honey or like honey malt. I would guess that this is an all Pilsner base malt for this. That's kind of typical of Belgian styles. Um, yeah, okay, honey-like impression. Yeah, okay. Appearance, I mean, uh, gorgeous, quite clear. I think in better lighting, I'd be better able to see my fingers, but very effervescent. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. So, okay, aroma. Yeah, I'm gonna go back on that and give that a rating out of 12. This is something I haven't been doing before, but I'm gonna try and do that. So I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 12. The only thing that would make it better is if it stood out a little bit more. On the appearance, it should be deep yellow to deep gold in color. I'd say that's right on the money. Um, Definitely effervescent with a nice, maybe not pillowy head, but certainly a relatively beautiful head. Creamy, rocky, yeah. Okay, so for appearance, I give that a 3 out of 3. Next is flavor. Wow, yeah. Really an intense burst of flavor coming in. Um, pretty light, I guess. But yeah, definitely like a sweet maltiness. I think again, honey kind of comes through. Um, let's see what else. Yeah, some spiciness from the hops, but that's sort of background. Um, Honestly, I guess maybe the flavor kind of takes somewhat of a backseat to the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel is really what comes through in a very obvious way, and that is not necessarily a very dry style, but the definitely like a nice medium body and a sort of bursting with a combination of that sort of creaminess as well as a sort of balance from the sharp carbonic bite. Um, really enjoyable to drink because of that nice mash um, between the sweet creaminess, but then that acidic and carbonic bite. Yeah, definitely getting again the sweet honey-like aroma, and also coming through in the flavor. Um, I know this for a fact is 8%, and that does not really come through. Pretty deceptive, but definitely very drinkable beer. Um, yeah, I mean, nothing blasting you in your face, but definitely a really enjoyable and balanced beer, I guess. So, guess I'm sort of getting more into overall impressions now and kind of skip through mouthfeel without giving it a rating, but the mouthfeel is really quite enjoyable, so I think that is something that I would like to give 5 out of 5. Flavor, I mean, yeah, again, it's a really enjoyable flavor. It's not nothing jumps out in a very specific way, but um, yeah, I mean, okay, so for overall impression, I think out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And I think maybe flavors where I'm gonna come at it with a little bit of a ding. Um, and that's just because and maybe maybe it's just more my own inability to pick up on subtleties, but it's a really enjoyable flavor. It's just that nothing kind of rings out in a very specific way. Maybe that's to say that it's really well balanced and even keeled, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna give the flavor I'm gonna give it a 14 out of 20. So in total, then that is a 41 out of, I should know this, but let's see, 12 plus 3, 25. It's out of 50, so 41 out of 50 is a fantastic beer. Again, this is a very classic example, um, and I really feel quite happy to have gotten a hold of it again. That's the Trappist Achel. Technical merit, nothing to complain about. Has not suffered at all from, traveling across the ocean. Would love to make my way over to Belgium and visit Trappist Monastery. Intangibles, yeah. Again here, and maybe this is a bias just because this is one of my favorite styles, but gotta give it a checkbox near wonderful. So yeah, okay, 41. That puts it smack in the middle of uh, excellent, exemplifying the style well and requiring minor fine tuning. Not really sure that there's any fine tuning to be done per se, but I think maybe in the aroma and in the flavor as time goes on, I am kind of picking up a little bit more, but yeah, maybe some like some apricot and some fruit, maybe like a kind of like a marmalade balance with some of that bitterness from the hops as well as again sort of that Pilsner malt backbone and the creaminess plus the carbonation. So really well balanced beer. Okay, I may come back later and try to go through all the exact style guidelines, but this was sort of a different style video I was attempting, and partially in the interest of time. I guess I should have been doing this, going through the vital statistics. I don't have gravity numbers, but I do know it's 8%, and that's right smack dab in the middle of a recommended or stylistic alcohol by volume range. SRM 4.5 to 7. Again, that's yeah, I would give this maybe like 5, like in pale gold. So IBUs 20 to 40. I'd say that's probably right. And then I don't know, maybe it's a little bit deceptive, but it doesn't. I guess the body kind of counteracts the fact that likely this is a very low finishing gravity. So normally that should give it a very dry feel, but um, I get that sort of sweetness lingering doesn't make it taste like really dried out. I've actually brewed this style, and I think that was a criticism I had of my own beer, is that it tasted too dry, almost like a wine, or having a little bit of that like tannicness. Um, anyway, hope you enjoyed this review, and I keep them coming, having fun, and hopefully getting a little better at it. Thanks for watching.